What happens when we die? Is there life after death, or is it just an eternal nap? These are questions that have intrigued, perplexed, and even frightened humankind since the dawn of time. It's like the ultimate cliffhanger at the end of an amazingly binge-worthy series, except no spoilers are available. Throughout history, every culture, every civilization, every religion has had its own take on this grand mystery. Some believe in an afterlife, a place where our souls continue their journey. Heaven, hell, nirvana, Valhalla. These are not just exotic vacation spots, my friends. They represent hope, fear, reward, and punishment, the ultimate destinations in various belief systems. Then there are those who believe in reincarnation, the concept of life as an eternal cycle. One day you're a human, the next day you could be a cow or a butterfly or a tree, depending on your karma. It's like the universe's own version of the lottery, where your actions decide your prize. And let's not forget our ancestors who believed in ancestral spirits and ghostly realms. They saw death as a transition into a different form of existence where they could still interfere in the lives of the living. Think of it as being an invisible, omnipresent, superpowered version of yourself. Sounds like a good deal, doesn't it? But here's the thing, all these beliefs, as fascinating as they are, hinge on the idea of a soul, a divine entity, a higher power. They offer comfort, solace, and a sense of purpose. They tell us that death isn't the end, but merely a doorway to another realm. But what if there's another perspective, one that doesn't involve meeting a divine being or reincarnation? Let's explore the atheist viewpoint. This perspective is not about pessimism or nihilism. It's about embracing the natural, understanding the tangible, and finding meaning and beauty in the here and now, rather than in an unprovable hereafter. So, buckle up, and let's take a dive into this intriguing perspective. Now, some people think that atheists are just a bunch of party poopers who don't believe in anything, but that's not entirely true. You see, atheism isn't about believing in nothing. It's about a lack of belief in gods or supernatural beings. It's not a void of beliefs, but a different type of belief system. It's a common misconception that atheists are a bunch of nihilists running around without any moral compass. But that's as far from the truth as saying all vegetarians hate barbecue. Atheists can and do have strong moral and ethical beliefs, they just don't attribute them to a divine or supernatural source. Their values can be rooted in human empathy, scientific understanding, or a desire for fairness and equality. To put it simply, atheism is not a belief in nothing, but rather a belief in something other than gods or supernatural entities. So, if atheists don't believe in a divine afterlife, what do they think happens when we die? Well, for atheists, death is like the last page of a good book. It's the end of the story, but that doesn't make the story any less meaningful. Imagine life as a grand novel, full of twists and turns, love and loss, triumph and defeat. Each day is a sentence, each year a chapter, and death. That's the period at the end of the sentence, the final full stop. The bookmark that says, "You're done. Good job. Time to rest." In the eyes of an atheist, death is not a terrifying specter to be dodged at every turn, but a natural part of life. It's the inevitable conclusion, the final act, the curtain call. It's as natural as the changing of the seasons, as predictable as the setting of the sun. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but accepted as a part of the human condition. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean that atheists are rushing towards death with open arms, shouting, "Take me, I'm ready." That's a common misconception. No, atheists, like everyone else, cherish life. They savor the taste of a good meal, the sound of a favorite song, the touch of a loved one. They strive to make the most out of every single day because they believe that this life, this one right here, is all we have, and that's the beauty of it. The finality of death can make life seem more precious, more meaningful. It compels us to live fully, to love deeply, to leave a positive mark on the world. Because once the last page is turned, once the final word is read, there's no sequel, there's no part two, this is it. So in a sense, atheists see death not as a door to an unknown afterlife, but as a mirror reflecting the life they have lived. It's a reminder to make each day count, to fill each page with a story worth telling. So, if death is the end, what does that mean for the concept of an afterlife? Now I know some of you are thinking, but what about ghosts, spirits, and all those stories of near-death experiences? Ah yes, the incorporeal, the spectral, the hair-raising tales of the afterlife. It's the stuff of late-night campfire stories and Hollywood blockbusters. But let's take a moment to separate the popcorn from the philosophy. The first thing to understand is that atheism, at its core, is a lack of belief in deities. It's not an anti-ghost club or a society for the prevention of spectral speculation. Some atheists love a good ghost story, but that doesn't mean they're packing up their bags for a one-way trip to the spirit world. There's a common misconception that atheists are staunchly against any form of afterlife, but the truth is, it's not so much a hard no as it is a show me the evidence. Atheism is about skepticism and critical thinking. It's about asking questions and demanding proof. So when it comes to the afterlife, the atheist stance isn't necessarily that it absolutely doesn't exist, but rather that there's simply no compelling evidence to suggest that it does. It's like saying, I'll believe it when I see it, and so far, all I've seen are special effects and smoke machines. Now some might argue, what about near-death experiences? Those people saw the light. Well, interesting as these accounts are, they're not exactly solid proof of an afterlife. Studies have shown that near-death experiences can often be attributed to the brain's response to extreme stress. It's more of a biological light show than a sneak peek into the afterlife. So, while atheism doesn't necessarily preclude the possibility of an afterlife, it does require something a bit more substantial than hearsay and Hollywood to convince an atheist of its existence. It's not about being stubborn or contrary. It's about seeking truth and understanding through evidence and reason. But without a belief in an afterlife, how do atheists find meaning and purpose in life? Contrary to popular belief, atheists don't spend their lives moping around, lamenting their impending doom. Instead, they often find a sense of purpose and meaning in the here and now, in the tangible, in what they can touch, see, experience, and affect. In fact, they might argue that it's precisely because life is finite that each moment becomes more valuable, more precious. Consider relationships, those connections we form with others. For atheists, these aren't just stepping stones to some heavenly reward. They are the reward. They are the fabric of our lives, the threads that weave together to form the rich tapestry of human experience. Then there's the joy of learning, the thrill of discovery. For the atheist, the universe isn't a divine mystery to be accepted, but a puzzle to be solved. A vast, fascinating enigma that invites exploration, that rewards curiosity with knowledge and understanding. And let's not forget the satisfaction of contributing to the betterment of society. Atheists often believe that because there's no divine plan, it's up to us to make the world a better place. That's not a depressing prospect, it's an empowering one. It's the belief that we, as individuals and as a society, have the power to shape our own destiny, to alleviate suffering, to promote justice, to create a future that's brighter than the past. Far from being nihilistic or depressing, this perspective can be incredibly liberating and fulfilling. It encourages us to seize the day, to cherish each moment, to make the most of the time we have. It reminds us that we don't need to look to the heavens for meaning or purpose. We can find it right here, in the life we're living, in the world we're shaping, in the people we're loving. So there you have it. Atheism isn't a belief in nothing, but a belief in life. The one we have right here, right now, because in the end, isn't that all we really know for sure? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.